Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. This is part one of this really cute bikini set that I created a few years back. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell for future videos. In part two, we will be going over how to do the bottoms. But for now, let's get started on the top. For this tutorial, I will be using 3 colors. You can use one color if you like. My main color today is from Karen Simply Soft. It is the color Bone. And my 2 accent colors are like 2 scraps, but I know for sure that this is from I Love This Yarn. I really like this yarn. It's super cool. But yeah, that color and white, and I don't know the specific color for this, but it's like kind of like a darker brown. So those will be my 2 accent colors, and then I am using a 4mm hook and a pair of scissors. You do not need a measuring tape for this one, so that's really cool. All the sizes will fit everyone. And I'll point out like a small difference for like an extra small. Okay? All right. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is take one of our accent colors that is gonna be at the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and make a slip knot. And then we're going to start off with a base chain of 68 chains, okay? So go on ahead and chain out 68 chains, and I will meet you back and show you what to do. So I have my 68 chains, and we're going to actually chain one more for a turning chain, and this will be the only turning chain, one of the few turning chains that we're going to have. Okay, so chain one more, and then we're going to be going into this second chain from the hook. So not this first one, but the second one. Okay, and we're going to go in there with a double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into the second chain from the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. Okay, and we're going to be doing double crochets all the way down. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, one more time, yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and we're going to continue doing double crochets all the way down to make 68 double crochets, and I'll meet you at the end and show you what to do after that. Okay, so I have like just two chain spaces left here, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish those. And from here we're going to change colors. There's many ways to change colors, but me, I just like to tie off. So I'm going to chain 1 and then cut my yarn and pull that through. And so we have our 68 double crochets. And now I'm going to pick up my second accent color. The second color you don't need that much of, so if you have like a scrap that you want to use, it might be enough. It should, you know. So anyway, go ahead and turn your work. And the way I normally change colors is I just insert my hook into that first chain space where I want to start, and I take my accent color or my next color and just pull it through like that. Oops. And then I just make a regular double knot, and I try to make it on the outside of this knot that I tied off on. So make a double knot, kind of like close to it, but on the outside of it. And there, boom. Also, when I change colors, I try to make sure I weave these in as I go. So I'm going to crochet over these. So just line those on top of this row, and as you crochet, they'll be inside of your work, okay? So now from here, after you tied your double knot and laid those flat, insert your hook into that same chain space and then pull up a loop, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and chain one, just to kind of give me a little height. And from there I'm going to go down this row with double crochets again. So yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain space and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, okay? Yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain space, and see how those are around, wrapped inside of there. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. And we're going to continue doing double crochets down this row. And once these tails are kind of like, once you get kind of like right here, you can stop wrapping them in, because they'll be in there pretty good. So just continue with your double crochets down the row. Sorry, we're both working from home today, so I can hear him in the background. But just keep doing your double crochets. And about here where the tails start getting very short, you can just kind of push them to one side so that they're not, I'm like pull them, whoops, I pull them to one side so they're not here anymore. They're weaved in there now pretty good. Okay, so just continue doing your double crochets, then not including crocheting over your tails, and keep doing that until the end of the row, and I'll show you what to do after that. Okay, so I'm almost done with this row. I have 2 spaces left here, so I'm going to go on ahead and finish my last 2 double crochets. Always make sure you get that last one, and you can always go back and count and make sure that you have all of your 68. Okay, and then from here we're done with this color, so we're going to chain one and tie off. Go ahead and cut your yarn, pull up that string, and we're going to turn our work. Okay, and from here we're going to go back to our first accent color. I'm going to go back to the brown, and I'm going to do the same thing in terms of like the color change. So color change, so I'm going to insert my hook and pull this yarn through, and then go ahead and make my double knot kind of on the outside of that first knot so that it's not really showing that much. 1 and 2. Okay, perfect. And now what I'm going to do is line these like we did before, line these across the top so that we can crochet over them. Insert my hook, okay, and then pull up a loop and chain 1, okay. This chain 1 is just a turning chain. Now we're going to actually go back down this row and do single crochets. So go ahead and insert your hook into the same chain space that you made the knot in. Pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops on your hook. Okay? This time we're going to go down this row with single crochets. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Okay, insert into the next chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Insert your hook into the next chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. So we're going to do this all the way down. Okay, remember that when these get covered pretty far, you can just put them in the back and keep going, and I will meet you at the end of this row to show you what's next. Okay, so I have 2 chain spaces left in this row. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more single crochets, 1 and 2. If you get confused on which one is your last chain space, because sometimes it's hard to see, just go ahead and go back and count. I mean, I know it's annoying to count 68 chain spaces, but whatever. We'll get it right, right? So from here we're done with this color, and we're going to chain 1 and cut our work. Go ahead and pull that string through. And I just want to point out something. You'll see like kind of like this color poking out. You can pull this color string and it'll kind of go away. Okay, same thing on the other side. You kind of see the white poking out here. So pull your white string that you covered, pull that, and it'll go away like that. Okay, and then you can cut those whenever you're ready. Alright, so now from here we're going to do our next color change, and we're going to switch to the main color. So I'm going to switch to my Karen Simply Soft. It's always fun unraveling that. Alright. So from here we're going to make a knot like we did before. Put that string on the inside, and we're going to do this color change the same way we did on the wrong side. There we are. The same way we did the other color changes, we're going to do over here. So just go ahead and make your double knot kind of on the outside of that first tie-off knot. Ooh, this, I never used this yarn before, and it's super soft. Okay. So from here, I'm going to actually go ahead and count 32 chain spaces down. So this whole thing is 68. Half of 68 is 34. We're going to count 32 chains down and mark that space off. So let me do that. Okay, so I marked off my 32nd chain space, and this is the only difference. If you're an extra small, you want to mark off on the 33rd chain space. This top really fits almost everybody. I mean, I've had people wear it who are an A cup to a D cup, but if you're an A cup, you might want to just add one more chain here. So do 33. If you're a B, C, and D, this will fit you just fine. If you are over a D cup, or if you're needing a size over a D cup, I still feel, I haven't really played with that, but you can always make this chain longer, this band, you can make it longer, and I would still just leave the 4, which I'll explain later. I would still just leave 4 spaces in the middle, because I mean that it pulls really hard, and you'll see what I'm talking about as we progress. This is where the keyhole is going to start, in the middle. Okay, so from here I'm going to start with 32 single crochets. Okay, just 32 single crochets all the way across, and always remember to crochet over your tails so that you have less work to do at the end. So go ahead and insert your hook into that first chain space, pull up a loop, chain 1. That does not count as a single crochet there. Okay, and go ahead and do 32 single crochets in this row. So when you get to your stitch marker, you're going to go ahead and stop. And if you need a size for like an A cup, go ahead and do 33 single crochets instead of 32. And it does make a really big difference, that one chain space. So if you're a smaller size, go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I have my, this would be my 32nd chain space here. So go ahead and finish that row. And now we're going to not do any more turning chains. So turn your work and go ahead and do 32 more single crochets going back. Okay, so just go straight in there and start your single crochets. We are not doing any turning chains right there, and I'll show you what to do at the end of this row. Okay, so I have 2 single crochets left in this row. 1 and 2. Okay, now we're going to turn our work. No turning chain. Now we're going to start our decreases. We're going to decrease 1 time on the outside in every row, okay? And on the inside, we're going to keep that going straight, okay? So on this side, we're going to insert our hook, no turning chain, insert our hook, pull up a loop, insert our hook into the next chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Okay, after you do your decrease, you're going to go all the way down with regular single crochets, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay. Okay, so I have just 2 more single crochets in this row. 1 and 2. Okay, now turn your work and go straight into that first single crochet there, and do a single crochet, and we're going to do single crochets all the way down until you have 2 chain spaces left. Okay, and by the way, that last row you should have 31 chain spaces right now, and when you have 2 spaces left, I'll meet you there and show you what to do after that. Okay, so now I have 2 chain spaces left, and we are going to go ahead and do our next decrease. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, insert into the next chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. So now this row should have 31 chain spaces because we decreased one more time. So go ahead and turn your work. And on this row, we're going to continue with decreases. So we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, insert into the next chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Okay? So basically every row, we're going to decrease when we get to this side. Whether you're coming from the other side or you're going this way, you need to decrease by 1 in every row, and you need to not do any decreases here. Just turn your work, no turning chain, and go straight into that side. This pattern is going to continue until we reach the row where we have 4 single crochet spaces there. Okay, so continue your work. I'm trying to keep the video short. Feel free to ask me questions. You can always rewind it, but I'll meet you there when we have 4 single crochets left. Okay, so in this row I have 5 Now we have 4 chain spaces left. Okay, so go ahead and chain 1 and cut your yarn and pull that through. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. And what we're going to do is go ahead and tie a string on this side and repeat what we just did. Okay, so tie your string on here and go ahead and start your 32 chains, 32 single crochets coming back this way. And you can just rewind and just kind of repeat what happened here. And then once you're done with your second cup, I'll show you what to do next. All right, so I finished my 2 cups, and you'll notice here in the middle that there are just 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 chains in the middle. Okay, if you are an A cup or maybe even a small B cup, you wanted to leave just 2. That's why I said do 33 instead of 32. And that's going to help you have more coverage and feel more secure. Okay, so next we're going to go back to our first accent color. So I'm going to go back to the brown, and I'm going to tie my string into one of the sides on the outer edge. Sorry, it's the garbage truck. Garbage day. Okay, once you have that tied on one of your sides, we are going to do 1 single crochet in each one of these stitches. Okay, so pull up a loop and chain 1. That does not count as a single crochet. Now go in and single crochet. We're going to do that in the first 3. 1, 2, and 3. In the 4th one, we're going to put 2 single crochets, okay? Which that one is pretty tight. so don't do my turning chains. One and two. Okay, so now you can let these fall back. And what we're going to do now, so we should have 5 single crochets here. What we're going to do now is put 2 single crochets into this first chain space on the other side. Okay, so grab your other side, your other cup, and put 2 single crochets into that first chain space there. Okay, and I know those last ones were tight because I didn't have a turning chain. So that's 1 and 2. Okay, and then go ahead and put your 1 single crochet in the other 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we just connected it, and we're going to chain 1 and cut this color. And now we're going to switch back to the white. That's a lot of strings flying around. So we're going to switch back to the other accent color and go into this first single crochet here and tie a knot. Pull up a loop, chain 1, that doesn't count as anything, just gives you a little height there. And now we're going to do 10 double crochets across this row. Okay, so yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain space that you did the knot in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, all 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so go ahead and do your 10 double crochets all the way across. I'm going to drop those now. Oops. So now you should have 10 double crochets. Go ahead, chain 1 and cut your yarn. Okay. And then finally we're going to turn our work and go back to our first accent color and tie that back on and do 10 more double crochets in this row. Okay, so go ahead and tie this, do your 10 double crochets, and I'll show you what to do next. So now, once you do your 10 double crochets, you can start on this first string here. And in order to do your first string, I'm gonna make a chain of 100. Okay, so go ahead and chain out 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just keep going till you reach 100, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I have completed my 100 chains, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut my yarn and pull that out. So this first string is complete. The second string and the third and fourth are going to be the same process. We're going to find the cornermost chain of that first double crochet, which is like right here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and tie a knot around this side. Tie a double knot. So you are going to have to weave this end in when you're done. And then I'm going to go back into that same chain space. Okay, go back into the same chain space that you just tied the knot and pull up a loop. Okay, and then from here I'm going to go ahead and start chaining out another 100 chains. Okay, so chain out 100 here. Okay, so once you complete your 100 chains, go ahead and cut your yarn and pull that through. And then in the bottom two corners, we're going to do the same thing and add, for the bottom, I would say add like maybe 100 to 150, probably 150 down here. And from there you are finished. After you go ahead and pull these a little bit, you can pull these and cut your yarn. And then weave any tails. You will have like one or two that aren't already weaved in. You'll have to weave those in. But yeah, other than that, we're pretty much done. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like. Also, stay tuned for part 2, which is the bikini bottoms.